Welcome back to Definitely Not Definitive. I'm Ken.
And I'm Bethany.
And this is Bucky, and this is Destiny. Destiny 2, Season of the Wish, Part 2 for all the cutscenes. If you want all of our reactions for this series, we got a playlist for you in the description of this video. We're also finding a link to Patreon. You can get early ad-free access that way. Get a month ahead. And yeah, you can also do that here, actually. Right on YouTube. Hit the little join button.
You have options.
Yep. Are you ready to do this?
I am ready.
Okay.
Where would you like to be?
A timely arrival, Guardian. Another egg from my clutch will soon pass by our reality. You should prepare to claim it.
Okay.
It is a strange turn of events that they were cast into the Ascended Plane. Strange, but not unintentional, I suspect. Ask yourself, who would benefit from such a situation? Who wields the requisite mastery over the ley lines?
Can you just tell us?
Who has a history of sequestering the Ahamkara to keep them hidden? I said before that I do not trust Mara Sov. Tell me, do you?
Yes and no? Like,
Not completely.
Yeah, exactly.
Praise and gifts, bequeaths to you a share of her power. Is she so different from an Ahamkara? From me?
trying to sow those seeds of doubt.
Do you truly believe she wishes for nothing in return?
Oh, definitely don't believe that.
Know this, Guardian. I have been forthright about what I stand to gain from our arrangement. A future for my otherwise extinct kind. Mara, on the other hand, what does she stand to gain?
Talk about one thing you stand to gain. I think there's more. Like what?
The Techians' calculations look promising so far. The next 8 should be close. Be cautious. The Taken have already gained a foothold here.
They spread their influence with mindless fervor, much like awoken royalty. Wrath of the Queen, this is not your fight. Somewhere out there, a pack of doomed corsairs waits for you.
I'll be there. They know I'll always be there.
You want to help. You would do anything.
I will.
For her queen? Yes.
Without you.
Yeah, Petra.
She's great.
Absent a commanding will, the Taken return to more basic directives. Their corruption may reshape these halls. Deal with them before the path collapses around us. You set obstacles in our path, mock our efforts, all while we seek to save your eggs. Is gloating over the ruin you made of our home worth losing them forever?
Ooh, pissed.
Then complain that I refuse to lay my neck within it. To beg and weep for what you desire. That is not in me.
Fun dynamic between those two.
Yeah.
That beast is a nexus of corruption. Such a high concentration of energy will destabilize the ley lines. Destroy it, or our efforts end here. Another egg secured. Well done, Guardian. The Taken aren't the only creatures attempting to thwart us. Riven seeks to entangle us in another loop, to keep us chasing down her clutch while the Witness runs rampant.
If this is a game, it suits your purposes. Sailing the eggs away, buying time for your broken warlock to cheat me. You have my terms. See this through, or make peace with your fate.
So much mistrust from all sides.
You've
Gotcha.
made excellent progress, but the remainder of the clutch will never reach us if they remain on their current trajectories. Queen Mara and her Techians once communed with the Harbingers, entities that can traverse the weft and weave of the ley lines. Mara's personal Harbinger can bring the clutch home, but she'll need to guide it with a signal. We need you to retrieve a Starlight Lodestone. It's a channeling medium the Queen can use to signal the Harbinger. All this to help Riven while the Dreaming Halls remain locked in her curse. The temporal loop that binds the Dreaming City could continue to plague the reef indefinitely. I wish my people could rest. I wish I could aid the trapped Corsairs across our shores. But Riven's curse is just a preamble compared to the final shape. The Witness seeks to finish what it started with the collapse. And so we remain occupied. And Rhea Sylvia burns. I regret we can do no more to advance your position in the field, but I'll be in touch as soon as the Queen finishes her communion.
How many ceremonies did I attend here? They weren't all lofty, serious affairs.
Some parties?
The lights, the singing. I wish you could remember it.
See Petra party? Got her hair down?
In Cassius Lane, until she rises again. She'll go on haunting the Chamber of Starlight forever. Shiro Chi says, if beautiful places cannot survive, why fight at all? I'll have to come up with an answer for her. Bring back the Lodestone, Guardian. Let's move on.
So this is what? The third bargain we've struck with a compulsive liar?
Having your back to the wall is never a good feeling.
It's so much worse. Being back in the Dreaming City.
Now that you remember,
I know every inch of it. The gardens, the palace. How it used to be. Before Riven's curse.
Oh. Almost called him Aldrin.
If it wasn't for me, the curse would never have happened.
Riven used you. Used
Yeah.
us. Our grief, our desperation. I wanted vengeance more than anything. The truth is, if I thought hiding from my guilt would help anyone, I'd be on the far side of the system.
You don't think we're just making the same mistake?
Because now you know better.
Aldrin used to say, if you don't like the odds, don't sit at the table. Trusting Riven is a risk. But without her, we have no way of pursuing the Witness.
The bigger
I'd
risk.
rather risk failing than wait here for the final shape.
Right there with you.
Guardian, we are coming to the final moments. These choices, these risks, they mean everything. Mara requests that I provide some small measure of insurance should Riven prove too perilous a gamble. I've learned the Veil is linked to the Traveler, that this link was not created. It is a primal truth of their existence, a pairing. The Witness accessed this link through your ghost. The motions of what it did are written in the Veil's own memory. But like an incantation, without the ritual, the understanding, the words, so to speak, the motions are useless. My attempts to recreate what the Witness did, to follow it, have been inadequate.
Don't be so hard on yourself.
And dangerous. I must temper my ambitions. The Veil is the power of consciousness, made manifest in our physical world. It whispers an electromagnetic language that resonates with our minds. One that can be deciphered, but not by the laws we wield in this universe. It's no easy task. If there is another way to follow the witness, I'll find it here on Neptune. It will take time, as all things do. Continue to aid Mara, and I will uncover what knowledge I can.
Another egg safely retrieved. I may have to make good on my word.
Oh, you definitely
From
will.
what the Techeuns whisper, the rest will prove more elusive. Mara may have to take drastic measures to catch them. All reward requires risk. Mara knows this truth better than most. That is what first enticed me to stay with the Sov siblings. Their penchant for adventure. Their unquenchable ambition. Each of them deliciously reckless in their own way. Your crow hides it well, but I can still smell Aldrin's daring nature on him. Imagine what he could accomplish if only he'd embrace it.
Yeah, we know what he can accomplish.
But you...
Set him on the dark path.
You charge headlong into danger without a second thought. All for the promise of power. I knew from the first moment I set eyes on a light bearer that your kind would change everything for the Ahamkara.
Congratulations.
And oh, how right I was.
You and the cookie.
Queen Mara, I hail you now out of necessity of the heart. Else I feel as though I will burst into solar flame.
Whoa, easy there.
I know. Bit dramatic,
I
dude.
admired you from afar. Ever since you graced me with your power and benevolence in the Reef Wars.
This is a proposal?
Not a day goes by without me thinking back to the time you bade me repay that debt to you. How we spent hours together, long into the night.
Should we be listening to this? I don't-
Exactly.
You spirit me to your side again, to serve as your consort, your knight, your humble vessel, anything
Your plaything.
to be near you. I beg you to grant me an audience once more. Please.
I will be your
give me
beta
the
cuck.
gift and the privilege of basking in your favor. For without you, I shall wither and
guy's so
crumble
dramatic.
into dust, to be scattered across the cosmic winds.
I think you were born a few centuries too late, dude.
This again.
Sounds nothing like that, Riven.
Oh. Bitch.
I should use a voice with which you are even more intimately familiar. How about...
Do not speak her name.
As you wish, O Majesty mine. You've returned. Would that the Queen's witches had your punctuality, O Warden mine. The Techeuns have started work on the Lodestone, but they can't finish it without help. I would love to find amusement in their inadequacy, make a meal of it. However, the task of helping those who can't help themselves has fallen on your shoulders again. Something of the Ahamkara in you, perhaps. The Lodestone must be attuned to the confluence, like teaching a compass where north lies. I've simplified, of course, for your sake.
Oh, well, you're so kind.
The calibration will take some time. Should I pray for you
Not really,
to
she's called
make it
stupid.
out alive? You want for so much, Guardian.
Pretty sure she thinks everyone's stupid compared to her.
Yeah.
Salivating. Do not tell the others. They will envy you.
Sure.
Just gonna ignore everything you said.
We made exquisite partners, you and I. Even if our partnership had its violent disagreements. You had so many dreams, and I knew how to weave them into the weapons you craved. Let's rekindle that little arrangement, shall we? I'm already here, after all.
No thanks.
Slay my enemies. Protect my children. Give me peace. And I will forge a small measure of your brutality and greed into tools of death. I ask for nothing in return. But your dedication to
Yeah, but our
our
life.
cause and the pleasure of each broken enemy. Go now.
Ask for nothing but your complete service.
Your prey awaits.
The Techians are in final preparations for the Lodestone. Your work in its calibration was invaluable. It will serve as a beacon for the Queen to make contact with her personal harbinger. She'll commune with it. Ask it to guide the remainder of the clutch back to us. It's the last of its kind. And it's good to see a harbinger, normally a weapon of war, used for diplomacy. Even with Riven. In the past, the pinnacle of the Spine of Karis provided the open sky the Queen needed for this communion. It will suffice again. But the Taken can test that region, as they have since Riven's curse rang out. They will hinder your every step. So cut through them, secure the spine, and the Queen will do the rest.
Communion with my Harbinger requires we access the highest point of the Spine of Karis. But Riven's curse remains.
The curse brings new Taken to the region every cycle. So hunt them and our work can begin. Once the spine is secure, Sadia and the Techians can light a beacon for the Harbinger. You'll find 2 ogres within, Guardian. As all Guardians have since the curse began. All across this region, the Corsairs remain as well. Reliving this nightmare is a matter of course, as we bend backward to aid the Ahamkara that unleashed this.
One crisis at a time, my wrath.
Yes, my queen.
Well struck. The observatory is
A lot of explosions.
Yeah.
Sadia and the Techians are
And is
now
that
free
like
to signal
lava?
my Harbinger.
Spewing
We'll
from
use
Look
it
like
to
it.
pull the clutch within our reach. The Harbingers once aided the Awoken against the likes of the Taken King. But your actions today shall allow a Harbinger to aid in diplomacy. For perhaps the first time.
Even if it is with an enemy of the state.
Just the same. All things are handled here, Guardian, thanks to you. I need your strength elsewhere.
The next egg should be coming into range.
Mara's seeing to the Harbinger. We'll cover you on this one.
Guardian, I'm seeing a lot of Scorn activity ahead. I doubt they understand what it is we're after, but they'll get in our way all the same.
Such callousness toward your creations. I suppose they have a new master now. Do you remember how you brought me to the Dreaming City for the first time?
I remember.
You sought a gift for your sister. Something that could delight and surprise her.
I was looking for
Let's
approval.
stay focused.
Good job, Petra.
Glowing altar. Always a good sign.
Is it?
Stay sharp, Guardian.
Petra doesn't get sarcasm.
Pick up enough ether corruption, and you should be able to slip past the defenses.
Your faded prince has experience in such matters.
Faded
Best to follow
prince.
his lead.
These Scorn can't be getting fresh orders from the Witness. What are they up to?
Poisoning every corner of the Dreaming City they can reach.
Perhaps they resemble their creator. Or aimless yearning.
I yearn for you to stop talking.
I was thinking the exact same thing. I was like, if you're not gonna say anything that's gonna help, like, just shut up. Like, we're here getting your eggs, okay?
You'll have to put this one down as well.
Those shields aren't impermeable. Turn their own poison against them.
There. Another egg.
I understand the Queen's reluctance, but you've done the Witness's bidding before. Why not again?
Kill my friends to bring on the final shape? No thanks.
A wish to end suffering. You made such a wish once, and brought about so much death.
And he's learned from it.
You know that wasn't what I wanted.
You should have been more careful with your words.
Exactly.
Enough! It's done! The Queen is waiting.
Good job, Petra.
Yeah, can you just cut off like her comms? Like, so that we don't have to. She can stop messing with Crow?
I heard you over the comm channels. I am sorry that we are forced to entreat with Riven.
I think we all are.
She and I have our own histories to navigate, but what she did to you, how she wormed her way into your mind, that was inexcusable. It pains me to put you through this.
Even after all that's happened, you still think I need to be protected?
No, that is not.
It's all right, Mara. I understand. We've always shared a connection. Even when you were lost in the Ascendant Plane, I could still feel your presence. Your heartbeat. I knew you weren't truly gone. Riven was only able to manipulate me because of how strong our connection was. I've made choices I'm not proud of. But I'll never apologize for the reason I made them. It's the same reason you reach out even now when you see me struggling. You're my sister. Nothing can break that bond.
Not even
Not
death.
death, not Riven, not even the light.
Like
The
Ager and
Witness.
Rhaegar, finding each other in the storm.
Yeah, well, all that we've been through, that's no fable. We stood together as the world collapsed around us.
And we'll stand together again.
Hug. Cyrus.
I'm afraid progress is slow.
It's okay, dude.
The Veil is a clever tangle in and of itself. It reforms as the consciousnesses connected to it ebb and flow. They rush in, awash with dreams and wonder, and then drain away. I believed that once I understood the Veil, mechanically, once I understood Strand, that I would see its patterns with new clarity.
Now you're just more confused.
Does not happen. This is not like charting a course through the currents of a sea or the depths of space. It is an architecture defined by how we intend to imagine it. Not dissimilar to the Ascended Plane, but if more like its opposite. The Ascended Plane mirrors aspects of our world, aspects of will and import to those who traverse it. Those aspects are decided upon through our actions. The Veil, conversely, weaves not with our will, Not our decisions, but with intent, unfiltered by logic. What we feel, not what we decide. Mapping
What we
such
feel
a
often
thing would be
informs
like
what we decide.
rebuilding a creature from the calcified remains we found aboard the pyramid ships. They are an image of a dissection, a deadened echo of existence. But to look at them as they are, to see their disparate parts, even understanding their anatomy does not give us the knowledge to make them as they were. I will continue to seek the path the Witness forged into the Traveler, but I am no longer confident that it could ever be walked again. Riven may be our only option.
Oh, goody.
I mean,
So many
I thought we already knew Riven was our only option.
their family.
You know, Osiris is kind of working on
Be estranged, cause rifts in a person's
the alternate
psyche.
option just in case, but backup
I
option.
hear them even now. Let me speak to my father again, one last time. Let my daughter see me for who I am. One of the stranger human impulses, don't you find? Above all, Ahamkara want to feed, to drink deep of the gulf between desire and reality. Other Ahamkara are competitors for limited resources, not allies. The only exception is a mate. Sometimes we reach beyond ourselves. Perhaps if we stood by one another more, we'd have survived the great hunt.
Yeah, now that we stand divided, we
If
fall.
we were a little more human.
Well, humans don't always stand together.
That bargain is not within our natures to make.
Osiris, are you on this channel?
I am. Quite frequently these days. How may I assist the Queen's Wrath?
Still just an awesome
Personal
title,
matter.
Queen's Wrath.
I was hoping you could tell me about your experience with Strand, how it's affected you.
Strictly research, but it is fascinating.
We
Yeah,
know
turn
you've
him into a
learned to
huge
wield
nerd.
it.
Who told you this? Mara. The rumors are true. Though I am still only a figment of my former self.
That's understandable. But your worth was never seated in the light. It's in your mind.
I imagine I'm not unlike one of your Techians, then. If I'm not mistaken, the Queen mentioned you trained as one yourself.
A long time ago, without much success. Though my sister, Pinar, excelled in her training. She was the pride of Amethyst. I was not. But even with that power, she couldn't stop the House of Wolves from raising our home. I joined the Corsairs shortly after, to hunt the wolves down.
That was your power.
Boss has a way of shaping us all.
And clouding us. I thought the decisions I was making were the ones required of me. A kind of honor-bound reaction to pressure. I burned bridges across the reef on my hunt. Without Mara, I'd be an outcast. Now, seeing the new coven, having their respect, their trust, I can do more than just react. Maybe I can tap into that training for something progressive, as something other than a Techian, for the benefit of our people.
I've learned that failure is not a lacking within us. It is a sign that we were not ready to face the challenge we chose at the time. We must fall to start again, Petra. But as long as we persist, hope remains. Potential remains.
So who's hanging out there on the side?
Perhaps you're ready now.
I can see why Mara values your perspective. Thank you, Osiris.
Yeah. Osiris is a good guy.
You return again, Guardian. And so does another egg from my clutch.
You're welcome.
It seems Mara's Harbinger has succeeded in pulling it close enough for you to catch. How convenient.
Keep trying to turn us against her.
It would have been far more convenient for them not to have been scattered at all. I have never taken Mara at her word. But she is not a fool.
Clearly you think we are.
Had she been the one to set my eggs adrift, then she would have devised an easier way to retrieve them. One that requires less risk. But if Mara was not the one responsible, then who was? And what did they stand to gain from it? Manipulating the ley lines like this reeks of paracausal magic. An Ahamkara's doing. Someone wished for this. And when I find out who it was, then I will feast.
Okay.
Good spot to end it. Ominous.
Yeah, I feel like there's so much similarity in some ways between Riven and Marasov
Yeah.
that, like, as Riven's trying to manipulate us and call out all this BS on Marasov, I'm sitting here thinking, and the same could be said about you.
Yeah.
Like, do you not realize that, like, you're the pot calling the kettle black? Like, yeah, Queen Mara is no fool. Yeah, she's probably going to benefit from asking us to do something.
Mm-hmm.
And you would be asking for something in return, too. The way that she kind of phrased that opening with the whole, like, well, you know she's not doing this to be all altruistic. She wants something in return. And I at least am upfront about mine. I'm like, okay, so you admit you want something, too.
Exactly.
You're just going to frame it under the perception that somehow yours is upfront and hers is not. But you don't, like, I don't know. The whole thing was just, it was so plainly like, I'm doing the same thing as her, but I'm going to frame it in a way that makes my way sound good and her way sound evil in the hopes that you're too dumb to realize the truth of what I'm saying.
And I'm just wondering what Riven has seen in The Guardian that makes her think that we would, like, turn on Marasov, or like that we are so easily played like that. Like, I don't know if she thinks that, I don't know, it's because she got into Crow's Head when he was Aldrin. And so she's like, all right, I've already been able to twist someone close to Marasov before. So if I can do that, so I should be able to do that again. I mean, that's kind of what I'm thinking, that she, like, because otherwise I'm like, man, she keeps playing this angle, but why does she think it's going to work?
I mean, I think to what you said, there's probably some truth in that. I also think, like, it's not like Marasov is like the warm and cuddly type.
Yeah.
So Marasov's very nature of being more distant, more cold, what she's had to do to kind of, I think, survive and retain power as a queen, is also the very thing that will sow distrust. People inherently trust those who trust them. Trust builds trust. So when somebody is not necessarily coming across as warm and inviting and communicative, it does naturally set you on a back foot. And Riven, I think, is smart enough to pick up on those social cues and norms and prey on us for our humanity.
It's crazy thinking of Petra like as burning bridges.
Yeah.
Just because I don't know, I just see her as like a rock star, and I'm like, okay, so you probably got into like the military ranks or whatever and just like climbed your way up because you were so great at what you did and trustworthy. And so, but like, I mean, she said that without Marasov, like she would have been really screwed.
Yeah. And I mean, you see that Marasov has certainly earned her unshakable loyalty. Which
is smart of Marasov because, I mean, you see someone that is very capable and very skilled, but like doesn't have any friends or allies. It's like, okay, I'm going to make this person my friend so that like they owe me and like they do have that sense of loyalty to me. I'm not saying that Marasov doesn't care about Petra at all. I think, there's probably some, I think working so closely together, gained some affection for her over the years. But yeah, it was just kind of like another brilliant thing. She's a strategist, Marasov, and like, her and Riven are playing this game of chess. And like, I guess Marasov probably thinks of us as a pawn too. I want to think that she gives us a little bit more respect than Riven does, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. I mean,
we've been through more with Morozov, so I think at first, obviously, when we first met her, I mean, our brother didn't think Aldrin didn't think highly of us at all.
No.
And I think, well, Aldrin thought bad of us and like just didn't want our intervening and like just thought we were worthless. And I think Morozov was like, okay, well, they're a tool that could be useful, but I don't think she like had any respect for us. Whereas now I think we've been through a lot that she has respect for the Guardian.
yeah, and I mean, Aldrin's gone, but Crow is with us. And I think that also inherently gets a degree of her, whatever loyalty Morozov is capable of giving. I feel like we have earned it because Crow is with us and Crow has survived and Crow has, moved on from his worst ways to now adopting some good ways. I also think Riven and Morozov are both, they are just strategic and political animals. My money's on Morozov being better.
Well, I mean, she won the first time, so yeah.
Exactly. History would show us that Morozov has beaten Riven before, so we have history to go on. But I also think that at Mara's core, deep down, underneath all the strategy and all the politics, I do think there is a person in there who genuinely has something to care about. I'm not sure that that's true of Riven. That's
just it. Is that like, I mean, I think that Riven wants survival of her people and like, I don't know, just like she said, the whole point of the Ahamkara is just to feed. I mean, so they just have this, like they don't care about themselves, or like their own people, like the other Ahamkara. They care about, I guess, the mate and then the offspring that you have, but like that's it. And then, so I feel like Morozov cares about her people, like the Awoken. So it's easier to align ourselves and like, yes, you can't trust that everything you have to trust that she's not telling you everything.
Oh, yeah.
And that she has ulterior motives as well. And that like, ultimately, once we deal with the witness, she's going to have her own little end game. And it's going to like to try to be for the betterment of her people and the survival of her people and like put them as like, well off as possible. And it's just hopefully that doesn't clash with what we want.
It's interesting because you had drawn the parallels before about like, people in United we stand, divided we fall. And how we don't always stand united. And it's interesting because the concept of the Ahamkara as like basically this species that just eats. Yeah. The worst of humanity could be kind of compared to that as well. Like,
you just consume.
We're kind of a parasite on the earth. We just consume and consume and destroy and destroy. And it was just, as you were talking about that, it kind of struck me. I was like, oh, how interesting. Like, perhaps that's where so many of the similarities are between like Riven and Morozov, because in some ways, perhaps these two different entities are representing the best and worst of humanity.
On that note, we will end it. So if you want early ad-free access, check out Patreon. Links in the description of this video. You can get early access for both channels that way. If you just want the gaming channel, then hit the little join button down below and join our YouTube membership.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for watching Destiny with us, but just keep in mind
that our reaction is definitely not definitive.